Hey Taurus, and welcome to your July 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. So, quite interestingly, I feel like you guys are experiencing a lot more action than usual this month. I feel like things that have felt stagnant or have felt like they've really come to a halt in some way really picks back up for you, which is interesting because most of the other zodiac signs are the opposite. Most other zodiac signs are experiencing some kind of sudden halt or sudden end to projects or experiences. But for you guys, it's very much the opposite, and I feel that you have a sudden burst of momentum and burst of energy to come in July. And regardless of the energetic pattern that's taking place for you, the fact is you're kind of in a different place than everybody else. And on one hand, I feel that we have a lot to learn from you, and on the other hand, I feel that you are feeling very isolated by this. I just keep getting this picture of someone who is very misunderstood by the people around them, and very, kind of willing to play on that in a way because it's kind of become part of your persona over all of the past months or years of feeling misunderstood or feeling like what you had to serve was not responded to with grace or elegance or in the way that you desired. I feel like there's a big change coming for you guys in which you can finally match up your initial desire with your outcome in the end. And I think that that's really been the main plot and aspiration for Taurus, is to not lose their momentum and to keep the intention that they start out with when they're actually finishing something. Because I know on my channel I keep seeing that you guys are really struggling with starting a new relationship or starting a new project or starting a new job or whatever, and then halfway through when you're about to get to where you want to be, all of a sudden you completely have this life-changing experience or life-changing energy that puts you in a place that you are completely kind of blindsided by a new direction, and it kind of makes you the villain to other people, or other people will be very willing to antagonize you for this because you've had a tendency, to me it seems like, to once you get to that place where things are no longer what you wanted them to be, or where you're halfway through the journey, or you're halfway through and you have this sudden change in desire, you think, I never actually wanted that in the first place. I never actually loved that person. I never actually wanted that job, and I never actually wanted that career path. And this is what really villainizes you in the eyes of others, because you give them something that's very profound during the time that you're with them, whether it be your coworkers, your bosses, but especially in romantic love relationships. You give them something very profound and something that feels very long-lasting, but then you come to a new place, and obviously by the actions of them as well. I'm not discounting that. But just in you guys, you're coming to a place where something shifts, and you need something different in life, and you're very prone to saying, I never wanted it in the first place. That's something that I feel is changing within you. I feel that you're coming to a place where you finally want to start something and end something with honor and with endurance. There's an endurance forming within you for sure. But it's more of a mental endurance than it is a physical endurance. Your emotions feel to me very unlasting. It feels to me that you're very sad about something one day and then you're very happy about it. Or it feels to me that you're very loving towards somebody, then you're very hating towards somebody. And it's not that you want to be that way, but there's it feels uncontrollable to you. And we'll see more in the week to week when maybe we can understand why that is. But yeah, I really feel that that's your challenge, is to establish some kind of emotional consistency in your life. What do you love? What do you hate? What do you like? What do you dislike? What makes you angry? What makes you happy? Because it seems like every single day it's something different. Or there have been very distinct stages in the last few months or the last few years that span about 3 or 4 months, I feel, where you have these very distinct desires, and you're going to set out for them and you're going to get them, and you start these really ambitious aspirational goals, again, whether it's in work, career, or love, and then 3 or 4 months later it's like you're on a completely different path, or you're having this completely new desire for what it is that you want to be. Because you guys have the Nine of Swords in your reading, you have the Tower. There's something about where you want to be, where you see yourself, and the volatility of that is creating this destruction in your life. And I feel that it's been here for a very long time for you guys, but in July, it comes to a place where you see it. Now, can you change it in July? only a few of you will be able to. But the fact is, you'll be able to see it from more of a third-person perspective, rather than feeling like the victim of it, or rather than being blind to your own desires and wants. You will step more into a third-person retrospective place and be able to see it. Now, I will be really excited for you guys to be able to see this lovingly with yourselves and not become harsh, because when you're really harsh with yourself, as it seems there could be a potential to be, you start like really searching for the blame in other people, or you just kind of blindside yourself more, because if it's really harsh, if it's something that you really don't like about yourself, there can be a subconscious tendency to fog that, to cover it up, so that you just kind of end up in this vicious cycle and you keep doing it over and over again. So I feel that the main purpose for you guys this month emotionally is to see this cycle within yourself of not being able to establish an emotional consistency, and how that's really destroyed a lot of situations and potentially hurt a lot of people, including yourself, and see it for what it is and start to make things right, whether it be for yourself or for somebody else. If you know that there's someone that you've done wrong, make it right. If you've done yourself wrong, make it right. And how do you make it right to yourself? You stop putting yourself in these situations, and you can kind of give yourself a, give yourself a spa day. But that's not really where I was going with that. Really, you need to give yourself the ability to not do this again in the future. Yep. Because if it becomes this cycle that keeps repeating over and over again, it becomes harder and harder to see, especially harder and harder to change. But there are other good things for you guys this month too. I never mean to be too negative, but you can have a lot of upward mobility relating to your job, especially. You guys have the Chariot and you have the Emperor. So there is something within you that is stabilizing as it relates to the structures in your life. Now, I hesitate to say it's with relationships, but I feel more like it's something that's more physical, like accounts or banking, or any of you who are in investments or anything, although that's not too physical either. Especially for those of you who work with your hands or create things, like very tangible things, I feel that can be really good for you this month, because you have a very fixed nature and a very fixed ability to make something and to shape something. So it is a good time to start something new. That could be what's giving you a little bit of anxiety right now, because maybe you're thinking, yeah, I want to start something new. And you realize, whoa, well, like for the last 2 years, I've started something new every 3 months, and it's been not good. But I do feel like you actually have a good chance to start something new. But at the same time, you have to face this Nine of Swords and Tower energy and be able to do that emotional healing simultaneously, because it will continue to be a cycle if you can't at least see these aspects of your personality. There could be a codependent relationship that's happening for you that you still haven't been able to click things with, or have the light bulb moment and see how this all relates, because it does all relate. It's all kind of a spider web for you guys right now. You're having a lot of good luck though. I mean, 9 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Luck is on your side this month, which is amazing given what you're dealing with. I feel like this could be a breakdown for a lot of people, or a very much a fall from grace. But you guys have something that makes this very profitable for you, or very I don't know, if you felt very unlucky, it changes through this. Or the way that people look at you, or the way that you feel that people look at you, suddenly change. You become like this different energy wavelength during this time. And it's really beautiful for me to see this in you guys. I feel that you're about to come into a much more positive place. But not before the Tower and Nine of Swords energy can be faced, for sure. Not before the codependent relationships of the past and the present can be faced. And not before you feel that you can shape something tangible with your own independent energy, okay? And with that, I want to go ahead and look at this from the week to week for you guys. In the first week, you guys have the Emperor rooted down by the Chariot. And I feel that this week is the most exciting and the most positive things happen here. Or the most, progress happens here on the physical exterior world. This could be a promotion, this could be a bonus, this could be starting the new relationship. It might not be starting a new relationship, but you seem to have options for sure, as everybody does during the Saturn retrograde. There are about 17 different options to get from point A to point B, and the goal during this time is to not get so overwhelmed by that you just stay at point A forever. And you guys seem to be on top of that. There is mobility. With the Emperor rooted down by the Chariot, it's like you know where you want to be, you've kind of shaped it, you've kind of organized it well, and then you very quickly move. Some of you could be moving. That's possible in July. Yeah, I see that as a possibility. Because there is some kind of transition. There's some kind of flying. Some of you could be going on a vacation, or some of you are healing through travel. It could be, for sure. Also, some of you could be having issues with your father, or issues with a dominant masculine energy with the Emperor, and feeling very controlled by that, and you kind of break away. I sense you breaking free from a dominant masculine energy. It can be feminine as well, but something that, I mean, it can be like male or female, but it's like a very assertive, controlling energy, and I sense you breaking free of that with the Chariot. Moving into the second week, you guys have the Wheel of Fortune rooted down by King of Cups reversed. This is good luck. This is good luck through shaping something that's more empathic and intuitive within yourself. And you guys have been on a journey to do this for a long time now. Ever since, I would say, Saturn in Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio through like 2013 to 2015, when it was opposing all of your Taurus stuff, you kind of had a lot of very difficult experiences of people either accusing you of not being empathetic for them, or accusing you of not having an emotional understanding of them, or vice versa. You might have been accusing a lot of people of this, or been encountering a lot of people who didn't understand where you were coming from. And I feel that finally, here in July, you guys get something that is like a pat on the back for that, or is like a proverbial wind beneath your wings because of what you went through then, and now you finally potentially meet somebody who gets it, or you finally, if it's the other way around and you were accused of it, of not being emotional, or maybe you actually weren't emotionally understanding of somebody else's difficult situation that you were in a relationship with, then now you finally like understand, and you might get a desire to reach out to them and make closure, but I sense that you probably won't do that, and that's okay, because it's all about the click within yourself, because once it comes together in you, you actually do a lot of karmic healing, and the other person can as well. But there needs to be some kind of change to happen, for sure. And I sense that this is why we kind of have this nice positive energy in the first 2 weeks, and that kind of shifts over into the Tower energy and into this difficult end of the month, latter half of the month, because it has to change. And whenever we have change, whenever we have this transition, something has to kind of break within us, especially for these kinds of emotional, difficult energies. We have to destroy that structure within ourselves that was vilified, or was antagonized, or potentially was even the villain or the antagonist. As when the Tower comes into our reading, it is a sign that we've not been the best person. Okay? It is a sign that we might have been a bold person, or we might have even been a martyr type of person. It doesn't really have to do with what other people think of us. But in reality, when the Tower comes in, it's saying that we did something that didn't serve ourselves. Whether that was being a really bad person to other people, or being what seemed like a really good person to other people, but sacrificing ourselves for that. It can really go either way. One way or another, Taurus, you're having to face a time when you were either very bad to somebody else, or when you sacrificed yourself for the sake of somebody else, okay? And it could be both, because, I mean, we're all human, we're all bad to people, and we all sacrifice ourselves for people at some point in time. And that's very much the crux of your dilemma in July, okay? But it's changing, and that starts in the second week. I feel that you're going to be very good financially this month, just as a side note, because you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have Nine of Cups, and you have the Emperor, which are all signs that it's stable, and you might even get good luck and benevolence. I feel that you need to take advantage of this time to do some inner healing. And again, like, go to the spa. You guys need to go to a sauna, or you need to exercise. There's a lot of energy built up within you that needs to detox and needs to come out of you. Again, the Tower is always a sign that we've got to purge, or we've got to let go of something that's been building up for a long time. But you have a very, very strict challenge, Taurus, to do this in a way that isn't, like, taking away other people's livelihood right now. And I don't feel that you guys would, but that's just a message in this reading as well. It's one thing to reach out to somebody and give them what they needed, or to give them, like, this is how it was for me, and I respect what you went through, blah, 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 blah. All that is fine, but you can't really do it in a way that's, like, it's really hard to articulate this difference for me, because it seems like there's a very subtle difference for you guys. And again, this could be what you're experiencing from other people too, but I'm just going to like say the archetype of it itself. There's been an issue with Taurus between, how do I want to say it? Like telling people how you feel and your authenticity and your truth, and that being like a very good experience for somebody else, and that being like a very bad experience for somebody else. And I'm not saying that that's you, but there's something to think about in the way that you convey yourself, or in the way that you like build up and you let it all boil inside of you, and how it then comes out after that. I think that that's restructuring for you too, because it has to come out in some way. And, you know, if people were really bad to you, then it's not really up to them how they hear your truth. But if you're on the side of Taurus that kind of sacrificed for somebody else, or kind of put yourself through a difficult situation for somebody else, then you kind of have a more delicate road to tread, because you did choose to do that at the end of the day. And I mean, you can hold that against them, but that's just very complicated. And there's going to be 1,000 different ways that plays out for individual people. My point is, you have to tread a little bit carefully on your anger when you choose to reach out to this person from your past, or when you choose to make things right. It has to be about the root of the issue and not about the ego of the issue. Your ego or their ego, okay? It has to be about what happened, and it can't be about making yourself look better than you were, or about making them look better than they looked, okay? It can go either way. All right, into the third week, once we have this sort of mid-July tower craziness happen, you have 9 of Swords rooted down by 6 of Pentacles. You know, maybe saying it and maybe having this interaction with these people or this person makes you completely rethink everything. And this is really, again, like I said earlier, touching on this aspect of you that changes so much, that's so adaptable, which is strange to see for Taurus, because you guys aren't really adaptable by nature. You're meant to fix and stabilize things, but I have seen something in Taurus that is very adaptable and very changeable lately, and I feel that that is part of the reason why you felt so unstable. Okay, 9 of Swords is all about a headspace and an insomnia, or a paranoia, or a fear, or a regret that cannot go on the way that it is right now. There's something existing for you that should be very obvious in the third week of July, a way of thinking or a way of coping that simply cannot continue. Like, it simply is over. It could have been a long time running for you, and you might have been dealing with aspects of your personality like this in this way for a long time, maybe even your entire life, but it becomes so clear that it cannot go on. You know, it has to change. And it can be such a beautiful experience for you guys, because it's like through this you get a lot of help from the universe, and help from, you know, your guides or whatever it is that you work with. Because it feels to me that being rooted down by 6 of Pentacles, this is coming out in relationships, and this is coming out in money through relationships, but it's not money for the sake of money. It's like finances in relationships. And you can probably see some of this issue through like the way that you've handled money in relationships. That's just kind of a random side note. But over, not just with money, it can be about, you know, compromise and give and take in relationships, kind of emotional, energetic transactions within relationships. You're seeing that as well. And that's kind of, I wouldn't say that it's led to this coping mechanism within you, because I feel that that comes from before relationships, like in childhood. But I think that you can see the juxtaposition and the root and the real idea of what's actually happened to you through romantic relationships, for sure. And it seems like you kind of have to address it, at least within yourself. And you have to have like this new dialogue with yourself, a complete like reformation of how you speak to yourself, of how you are with yourself, and how you are when nobody else is around. That's another really big key topic for you guys. I feel that you're like juggling a lot of different aspects of yourself right now, a lot of versions of yourself. I feel that when you're with certain people, you're a different person. When you're by yourself, you're with a different person. Like, this whole chameleon aspect of your personality is not really the healthiest thing for Taurus, because you find yourself like expressing more on your counterpart, which is the Scorpio wavelength, when you're in that archetype. And not that that's bad per se, but you've got to work on yourself before you get on the other side of things. And that works for any sign, you know. Oftentimes signs will convey in a similar way to their opposite. So for Taurus, that's Scorpio. For Leo, that would be Aquarius. For Virgo, that would be Pisces, so on and so forth. You will see similar personality traits, but it's only a facade, really. You know, it's not really deep down. So it seems like maybe some of you Taurus have been with Scorpios and they've like rubbed off on you or something like that, and you're now conveying yourself in more of a scorpionic way, but it's not who you actually are. Again, it can't go on. You can still have this in some kind of like fun way that makes me think of games or something, but you've got to develop this like actual part of yourself first, and you've got to understand who you actually are, because it's like you're with this one friend and you're one person. You're with yourself, you're a different person. You're with the romantic interest, you're a different person, and it's really skewing your authenticity, because you don't know when you're like, look at Nine of Swords and that person is by themselves in the dark in their bed alone. They don't know who they are, and they're trying to employ all these old coping mechanisms and all these old worn out aspects of themselves to all of these different personalities and to all of these things that they've gained from other people. You guys have kind of absorbed a lot of other people's karma, to me it seems, and you don't know how to release it. You don't know how to face it. I can at least give you guys a few ideas of how not to face it. Starting the new relationship to escape everything in the past will not fix this. Starting the new job or the new project to fix this will not fix this. You know, trying to make everybody else have a tower type of experience so that it makes your breakdown a little bit less obvious will not fix this. Okay? But there are very similar ideas that can. You can use this as a springboard to the project. You can use this as a springboard to the relationship. And you can use this as a springboard to helping heal other people too. I see a lot of energy in here that is that of a healer. It reminds me of healers that I've known and my own experience working to heal people as well. Through this Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Tower type of archetype, and Two of Cups reversed, some kind of pain is happening within you that is very noticeable and very easy to bounce off of. And you can use that in a lot of ways, but you just can't apply it specifically to try to heal things right now. You've got to use it as a springboard, and you've got to heal it within yourself first, and then use it as like a foundation or a springboard to make things better and be like, I went through this, and I will now do things in a way that is not who this person was, type of thing. It's kind of really hard to explain, but I think you guys catch my drift. The third week is the hardest week of July, potentially one of the hardest weeks of your year. Relationships that can't go on anymore will end. Family, you know, romantic, platonic, whatever. Houses can be foreclosed on, cars can be repossessed, things can be taken back from you that you don't have the energy to sustain right now, for sure. And it's really more of a blessing than a curse. And you'll see that on the other side of it. But during this time, it could feel a little bit hectic. And it's all to form this within you, Taurus, because you've been through worse than this before, actually. I feel like back in the early 2000s, for some of you, again, depending on your age, it can be like, you know, it can go really far back. But I feel like the 2007 to 2008 was something that you can pull forth a little bit of resilience from right now, as well as like 2012 and 2013. But you've got to heal something from 2015. That's just what I'm hearing. A lot of you have to heal something that was more recent, because it's really tested everything that you've been through thus far. Fourth week for you guys, Nine of Cups suited down by Two of Cups reversed. I feel that you could start a new relationship here, and you've got to tread carefully. You've got to make sure that you're past it all, because there's been a tendency, I won't even call it a tendency, there's been a pattern where the universe kind of sends this really amazing soulmate type of connection in right when you're going through all these types of things, and it kind of presses the pause button on this work that you're doing. You know, it would be good for you guys to press pause on the exterior in general right now. I feel that you've been doing that for a long time, but it needs to happen in a new way. You need to press pause on some of these platonic relationships. Relationships of the past kind of need a pause as well, but to be delivered something in the future, for sure. It feels like everybody around you right now needs something from you that you can't give them. And the issue is you kind of have to give it to them, because you kind of took something from them not consciously, but they gave it to you. You see how difficult this is, and as a reader, I'm like, whoa, this is so hard to articulate. It's like a spider web, and the best way to move past it is to press pause on things that you feel are very volatile. Get your finances together, get your everything together, and then start a new path. Because once you can do that, once you know that you can start a new path, even if you don't actually do it, you tend to have really filed and organized everything into your head where you can finally give people what they deserve and where people can finally give you what they deserve. That's like a big thing for you guys too. What do people deserve from you? What do you deserve from people? It's all skewed within you right now. So really nice though, surrounding that third week with 9 of Swords and 6 of Pentacles, you have the Wheel of Fortune and 9 of Cups. So it's like you have this really blessed energy around you guiding you through that period of time. And that makes me really happy to see. It's kind of like a guardian angel type of energy for sure. It's beautiful. I'm so happy for you guys. Not everyone has that luxury, Taurus. And be thankful for it, because you will go through a difficult time this month, but you'll also get a lot of luck and abundance through it. So be grateful. Like, rather than getting upset, like, why can't the universe just make up its mind? Why can't my life just be one thing or another? You wouldn't want it to be. Or at least you wouldn't want it to just be the 9 of Swords and the Tower energy. And for some of you in the 4th week, you finally choose to break up, or you finally choose to get the divorce, because it's like something happens in the 3rd week where you're like, I can't handle this. There is no compromise. There is no give and take. Likewise, somebody else can be that way to you. It's like they will come to you and they'll say, I can't handle this. There's no give and take from you. You don't da-da-da-da-da. Because something in the 3rd week just can't go on. It won't go on anymore. Because there's been something in Taurus that's been able to prolong that, and it's been able to continue it for the sake of other people or for the sake of themselves. And with Saturn retrograde right now, with Neptune and Pluto doing what they're doing, it won't. It can't go on anymore. So like, how you've kind of been able to skate in and out, how people have been able to skate in and out on you, like people seem to be able to get away with murder and you have to always clean up their messes, that can't go on anymore. Vice versa, if you do that with other people, it can't go on anymore. Something stops here, which is great. I won't be surprised if 10 of Swords comes up for you, because 10 of Swords is obviously after 9 of Swords, and most of you know that picture. It's like the person stabbed in the back. It'll be a good thing, actually, because it will be the ending. It will be like when it's over. Like right now you're in the ending phase. Like, it's not over, but it's like ending, So I'll be looking forward to the period of time once you guys can finally materialize 10 of Swords and it can finally be over and you can finally start anew. But action still has to be taken, okay? And for the 4th week, it's pretty much that simple. A relationship that you thought was really good turned out to not be what it was. Also, you think of a relationship from the past that was very good and you're getting new ideas about it. It could be good or bad. But you've got to focus on yourself too. And you've got to focus on understanding like why it can't go on. Just why can't it go on, Overall, you're kind of stunning in a way this month, and you're kind of amazing, because people will see this energy within you, like all of this crossed up energy of like Wheel of Fortune, 9 of Cups, 9 of Swords, the Tower. And it will actually make you somebody that's very attractive and very glamorous, because there is something associated with that in our society today that is very very sexually attractive to people, So do be aware of that, because you have to know what you want during this time. Anyway, much love to you guys. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can click on the center of your screen right now. Also, I've provided the last 2 months of reading, as we are in Cancer time, so it will be good to reflect. I appreciate so much your likes, comments, and subscribes, and I do love you guys so much. I'm wishing you so much luck for this period of time. It is kind of volatile for you guys, but you also have more power than most people do, so use it wisely. Much love. Bye.